Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody. You know, it's Saturday morning. I trust everybody kind of had them a good Friday night rest and a Saturday morning sleep in just a little bit and do all that. Got up, had my eggs, had me a cinnamon roll and homemade cinnamon roll using Crystal Slagle's recipe. Christina made it, and find out yeast is another thing missing in the stores. And but we dug enough, found a couple of packs in the back of the pantry, so life was good. I was reading a Moravian this morning, and it was exciting. It's one of my favorite sections. One of my favorite sections. Moses goes back up on the mountain. He's getting the commandments again, and he gets in the presence of God. And when he comes back down, his skin is just radiating. And I try to use my imagination on this. I think to myself, man, what did that look like? And I put myself in the crowd looking at Moses with his skin just radiance. And I am a sunburn guy. I may look like Tropicana shade to a lot of people, but realistically, I sunburn. One year we went to Panama City, and I come up with this brilliant idea to get a base going before I put sunscreen on. And so what it did is it put me in the emergency room with blisters and everything else. I'm in there, I'm itching. I had just complete reaction. It was horrible. It was horrible. I had to go to the one of them little clinic things, and I'm just begging them, man, give me something. And I've learned a million things I could have, should have, would have done. And the radiance wasn't good from the sun on there. But I think about in the presence of God, where God has just allowed his glory to hit Moses in a way where it's so on him that everybody else sees it. And this is just following where the children of Israel there, they had really sinned. I mean, they'd done the golden calf, they'd rebelled, they'd done all this. Moses gets mad, he throws the stones down, they broke. He's gone back up there, and God's like, you cut him out this time, and brings him up there, and God's going to put him on the tablets. And God was still so good to him and so faithful to him and showed love to him. But Moses never said, God, touch me in such a way that they see. When he went back up there, he just went back up there to hear from God, and he loved God, and he loved others. And in that, it was so evident to everybody around him. Moses didn't even know his skin was glowing. And I think sometimes whenever it's times like this, what I do, and I don't think I'm the only one, is I look and I'm like, Lord, fix those idiots. What is wrong with these morons uptown? What is wrong with these people? Everybody that's not seeing it my way, they're wrong. I am the litmus test of what right is. Just ask me. My response to anything is the perfect response. Anybody over here is just too loosey-goosey, and anybody over here is just too stiff as a board. I am the litmus, and we all are that way. And so we're like, God, why don't you fix that fool? But Moses, this time, I think him just getting in the presence of God and allowing God to do his thing in him, and it began to shine off of him. And when he comes back down, people are like, whoa, you got to cover up, bro. I can't be in the presence of God like this. And I think what we need to do at a time like this, we're in uncharted waters. We're in a moment of history that's going to redefine things. I live in Clarksville, and so Fort Campbell cannot be ignored. But I remember Clarksville pre-9/11. Pre-9/11 Clarksville is a different world than post-9/11 Clarksville. The world is different at 9/11. 9/11 changed everything. Pre-9/11, I pulled up to Gate 10 one time, towing a boat. Talked them into letting me through the gate onto post to cut out Gate 1 to take a shortcut. No, nothing. I promise you. You can't sweet talk a gate guard into letting you take a shortcut through Fort Campbell anymore. 9/11 changed the world. 9/11, I remember the week after riding down the road, and there's that one overpass on Fort Campbell Boulevard, and I saw guys with guns standing up there looking down. And it got real for me. Not nearly as real as it did to people in the World Trade Center. Not nearly as much as it did to my buddies that were getting ready to deploy and go downrange. Not nearly as much as it did to some of the others. And this corona is not nearly as much to me as it is to somebody who's got it, or whose family's got it, or who's in the midst of working in an emergency room trying to decide we have 10 ventilators and we have 15 patients. But it's going to be a game changer. The world is going to change. We don't know how, we don't know what, we don't know what kind of economic crisis we're going to have, we don't know what kind of health crisis. But if we have this concept that Moses had in this, of getting in the presence of God and allow his glory to be on us, and allow his skin to radiate, or allow our skin to radiate with him, allow our life to radiate with him, rather than fussing about what's wrong with those people, it's going to prepare us for this season. I got over here in Psalms, and Psalm 40 is where I was at today, and the part that I read is, Lord, do not withhold your compassion from me, your constant love and truth will always guard me. And right after that, it began to get down in verse 14, let those who intend to take my life be disgraced and confounded, and let those who wish to harm me be turned back and humiliated. And I began to remember one year whenever I was in that part, there was a person I had no earthly idea was trash talking me. No idea. And I got to experience God defended me. And so over and over and over, the way we experience God defending us, whenever we just rest in him, in other words, we abide in him, we just let him be the shadow that we are, the overarching umbrella where we sit in the shadows of the Lord, it does amazing things. And it's in that where the glory of God gets on us and comes through us. And it's so much more effective than saying, God, fix those people. It gives us the platform of how we're going to respond to this. So, guys, I want to encourage you. It's Saturday, man. I know Saturday's going to be different. I was sitting here thinking, man, I wished it was already the time of year where the farmer's market was going on. I'd love a good Saturday morning at the farmer's market. I'd love this and I'd love that. And instead, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is just stay home today because that's what they're asking us to do. And I'm going to go out to the shop, do some stuff, review my sermon for tomorrow. Do all that stuff. But I want to encourage you, man, it's Saturday. Kind of take just a pause, get in the presence of God for you and say, Lord, speak to me today for this time of today. And just talk to him, listen to him. Then take the people that are in your home and try to speak to them. Not just to preach at them, but to just love on them. Hey, have a great day. Great weekend. We're going to hit the live button for the sermon portion at 9:30 on the dot in the morning. Man, if you don't have another church home that you're tuning in with, we'd love for you to be on there with us. Have a great day and a great weekend. We love you.